Brett Thorne, Senior Food and Beverage Editor of Nation's Restaurant News, here with Stan Rodriguez, Culinary Director of FB Society. How you doing, Stan?
I'm great. Having a great time at the show.
Oh, good. And FB Society, you have a bunch of different restaurant concepts,
Yes.
right?
So we have multiple concepts, 46 restaurants, 2 food halls, and we are looking to grow both our existing brands and do some new brands over the next couple of years.
Whoa. So, like, you have, like, I don't know what, 8, 10 concepts, something
Yep.
like that? You
So we have our whiskey cake, Mexican sugar, Haywire, I Declare, Son of a Butcher, like I said, the food halls, and yeah, so it just keeps on growing.
Wow. And so is one of them your growth vehicle, or just kind of depends?
So I didn't mention 60 Vines. 60 Vines has been growing pretty rapidly. We're seeing a lot
That's like a wine bar, right?
Yeah, that's a wine-focused, wine country cuisine, wine on tap. That we were the ones who really pioneered that there. But yeah, that's been growing. Mexican sugar's been growing, and we found a lot of success in the Texas market with the Haywire, the ranch concept.
Ranch.
Yep.
So it's sort of a ranch theme.
Yeah, ranch theme, Texas. You know, we try to source as much as we can, Texas local products, honey, fish. We use only stuff out of the Gulf, and really play on the great products there.
Wow, and you are also in Florida and some other states, right?
So 60 Vines and Whiskey Cake are having some success in Florida and enjoying being there.
And how long have you been with FB Society?
So I recently just came back to FB Society. I was originally with them for 5 years. I was the original chef for 60 Vines. I took a little sabbatical, and I've been back since the beginning of the year.
Oh, congratulations
Yeah,
on your return. How do you spend your time? Because you're only one person, and you have all these different concepts to do.
Absolutely. I mean, so communication is really the key here. All the brands have leaders in them, both in the front of the house, and then we are establishing who the chef leaders are in some of our brands, and some of them have already been established, and we work through them. My job is really, when we're creating a new brand, is to create that sandbox and make sure that the sandcastle stays in the sandbox with ideation, with the products we're using, really writing a good DNA and a chef DNA or food DNA.
So you have guardrails around what you can have on the menu and what you cannot.
Yeah, so take Haywire, for example. We would never put salmon on that menu, even though we know it'll sell, because that doesn't come from Texas. And that's a Texas brand.
So you will use Gulf fish.
Yeah, Gulf fish. So we use Texas redfish, Texas Gulf shrimp, Texas bass, or Gulf bass. So yeah.
Is that, I mean, Texas is a big, diverse state with a large Gulf coast, but still, how limiting is it to limit stuff to Texas?
I mean, sure, at times, it can be a little tough. I mean, the crab market right now has been super difficult for us, and we're just working through it. But what we found is we're partnering with smaller vendors and really being a life source for them, so they work with us. And it's been great.
Right, you're like, we're going to buy all of your stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
Provide it.
Yeah.
You said you're working on some new concepts, which FB Society hasn't done in a while. Are you allowed to talk about any of them?
We can talk about the general idea of what we're looking at.
Let's do that.
We're looking at dipping our toes in the sushi and Japanese, but kind of the way we do things a little bit fun. So being in Texas, can we utilize that Texas flair in Japanese cuisine? So maybe we're going to be doing a smoked brisket ramen, playing up on the Wagyu beef with the sushi. So we're looking forward to that. Playing around with an Italian concept, getting into pizza and pasta. A little bit different from 60 Vines, where that is Northern California. This would be more traditional Italian. And then we really like the Haywire brand, but it's so driven on Texas. We're kind of wondering whether we could have like the Tyler Sheridan approach of Western chic restaurant as well, where it's, okay, you have your landman in Texas, but we're going to do one about Yellowstone now, kind of idea.
Well, that's fun. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of that. I especially want some of that smoked brisket ramen, please.
Yeah.
That sounds great. And what's your background, Stan, that you're able to oversee all this stuff?
So I went to the Culinary Institute of America. I got my bachelor's degree there, almost 20 years ago now. And was fortunate enough to work with Danny Meyer in New York City for some years. And then I came down to Dallas, and I've kind of done a little bit of everything. Steakhouses, Italian, pizza, pasta. But really, to me, I feel like my job is more about finding the right talent, identifying it, and helping them develop and giving them those guardrails and support. And they're going to make the food great. I'm there to support them and help them with the ideation.
How do you do that in this labor market where it's hard to find anybody?
That is definitely a challenge, but I'm fortunate enough with Farm Burner to be in a company where we really care about our people. So our pay is very competitive. Our bonus structure is very rewarding for good operators. And one thing we say about a Farm Burner chef, we have a DNA specific for them. And one of the biggest points that I really point out is that we're operators first, and then we're chefs. So we care about the business, and the chef is how we operate the business. And that, when you find a chef who has all the operation talent, but gets burnt out on the, I want to create, I'm creating and I'm not making the money I want to make, or it's not working, they find a home with us where we're going to give you the opportunity at volume to create after you show us you can operate. And
interesting.
And that has really, I think, worked out for us. We've got a bunch of talented chefs that way. But as great as the food is, that one dish, our chefs are going to give you that one dish 100 times. And that's what we really care about.
Right. When you started in independent fine dining restaurants. You told me you were at Tabla and Myelina and places like that. So, yeah, I mean, you've been in Texas for 15 years
15 years now, yeah.
So, did you need much adjustment to sort of do multi-unit concepts?
I honestly, in terms of the food, that kind of just came, like just with experience of, I've allowed myself to open many different types of restaurants. I've done Latin, I've done Asian, I've done Tex-Mex. So to me, that's kind of algorithm. It's like you use an algorithm to open a restaurant, and you just plug in the flavors and the culture and try to just do it right and pay homage to that, right? But in Texas particularly, we know you need 2 fish dish on the menu. You need 1 or 2 steaks on the menu. You need a vegetarian item and a pork. And like that's what your entrees generally are going to be to have a busy restaurant in Texas. And so now it's, okay, we're doing that, but we're doing it with our Southern concept out of Clare. Great. How do we roll in grits, low country sauces, Creole, all that. But we know what fish we're going to do. We know that we're going to have a pork chop. We know we're going to do a steak, and we just build it that way. The harder thing was learning the people management. I think that's the biggest challenge.
I bet.
Is you want to provide a place where people feel supported, where people have a voice, but at the same time, when you go to scale, you just need stuff done sometimes.
Right.
And so finding that balance has been more of the challenge, I think, than the actual food part.
Well, and of course, the hardest part of any restaurant is doing it every day and like managing operations.
Well, I will say that was the nicest thing about going to multi-unit, where when I was a single unit chef, it kind of got the same routine every day. And the more consistent I was in that routine, probably the better job I was doing, but it started getting boring. Right. I was fortunate enough to get into multi-unit, and every day, I don't even know, there's side quest after side quest on a day. I think I'm going to have this day, and it's something completely different by the end.
I love the idea of a side quest.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is. You started out cooking in kitchens.
Yes.
You probably don't do that a whole lot anymore.
When we do menu ideation, when we do new brand development, I still cook. Like, I want to be the one to do it. I usually grab the chef of the brand or the sous chef, and we do it together. We're writing down. And I still make it a point to hop on the line with the guys. I would like to do it more, but I would say once every couple weeks, I try to work a couple hours on the line. More to remind everyone I can still do it. But also, that's where you see where the drift is happening, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's very easy to stand at the expo and be like, why? That doesn't look great. But you notice, we're not dressing that as well as we should, or we're not seasoning that as well as we should. How can I move things around to make it easier for the cook? And the only way you're going to figure that out is by doing it.
True. Well, it makes sense. I mean, drift happens.
Yeah.
And that's the death of a restaurant. You have
Absolutely.
to be consistent
Yes.
all the time. And as I said, that's the hardest part as far as I can tell.
Right. I mean, I came back, and after spending a couple months, got with leadership, and I said, I think we need to slow on the menu rollouts and focus on the things that make us successful, make sure they're perfect, like shore up the foundation, and then we can continue to build. I don't want to redo the floors and repaint the walls if the foundation isn't good in the house. And so that's really been our goal for 26 is, can we get more consistent, more efficient, and have that and then grow on that. And I think the creative process becomes easier when you're executing your staples.
Well, when you know how to do that, and when you know, as you said, the parameters of your sandbox.
Right.
How does what's the structure? You indicated that every brand has a chef.
Yes. So the bigger brands, Whiskey Cake has their own culinary director. 60 Vines has their own culinary director, and I am a support to them. And then our smaller brands like I Declare, I just work with the chefs in the building because there's only 2 of them. And Mexican Sugar, they have a chef as well, but it's more like, hey, we're seeing a trend. Let me come in there. Let's attack this project together. Or you have a new menu idea. Great. Make it for me. All right, now how can we execute in the line? Great. And then I have to be the one to communicate with purchasing to, can I get this product in all these different markets? And is the price going to be the same? And is the quality going to be the same? And that's a big part of the job that I don't think when you think corporate chef, is that purchasing side of it. And that has been exceptionally difficult over the last couple of years.
Yes, and it's getting harder.
Yes.
What is your favorite part of your job?
The people, the development. My favorite, when I'm looking for those culinary directors, my favorite question to ask them is, what does your coaching tree look like? Oh. How many people have you worked with that are now chefs running their own restaurant, that are successful sous chefs, that are successful other culinary directors, but they were a sous chef with you at one time? That tells you a lot. When they can give you a list, they're going to hone in on good talent and then develop that talent. And really, this business, you need good people and you need good product. A good product, I feel like we know how to do that. It's the good people that's the hard part. And so that's really the focus, but it's what I enjoy the most, watching guys work up all the way from dishwasher to chef. And we have a lot of them in our company that we're super proud of.
That's wonderful. And that's such a positive note on which to end our conversation. It was so nice to meet you, Stan.
Very nice to meet you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.